The Infinity War could end with Thanos having equivalent of 100,000 Hiroshima nukes detonated in his rear. Now that I have your attention. A few years ago, internet was introduced to the interesting idea that Ant-Man should shrink, get inside the purple gates, and expand himself, tearing Mad Titan apart. Many creators picked up on the topic, coming to a conclusion that this would be a bad idea, as Thanos is one of the most durable beings in the universe. Ant-Man has a much more powerful tool that obliterates not only MCU Thanos, but almost any entity in fiction you may think of. That tool being physics. Ant-Man relies on PIM particles to change the distance between atoms in his body. Let's borrow some and start shrinking. The smaller we get, the denser we become. We're past human hair, past viruses, past your pee. Okay, and we're at atomic level. But what stops us from going smaller? Other than dying from a million different physical things, whatever. Well, it turns out that developers put a limit on how small can you become, known as Schwarzschild radius. If you compress the matter enough, gravity bends the reality itself, resulting in a black hole. But the process is too complicated to elaborate on in a video about Thanos having nuclear diarrhea. So okay, Ant-Man turns into a black hole and destroys the Earth, whatever. But that doesn't give us the outcome we desired. Also, this black hole would be so incredibly tiny that it actually wouldn't be able to do anything. To give you an idea just how small we're talking, the entire Earth, everything you've ever seen and will see, with that much mass, which is already so huge you can't fully understand it, would have to be compressed to this size to make it into a black hole. So try to understand just how absurdly smaller would 80-kilogram black hole be. Instead, one concept we must look at is the fact that black holes vaporize. Listen, it's not my idea that objects that light can't escape is vaporizing. People that NWO put in charge of NASA and some guy that was on the island came up with this idea. The thing is, the smaller the hole is, the faster it's vaporizing. And even better, as it radiates temperature, it also gets hotter, which accelerates the process. Yes, I don't understand it either. Good thing we live on a turtle and don't have to worry about that. Some other lizard person came up with E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. It means that 1 gram of matter is equal to around the body positive man drop on Nagasaki. And here comes the magic, or I guess, physics. Because if we combine the two, assuming Ant-Man weighs around 80 kilograms, he would turn himself into 1.5 gigatons of TNT worth of power in 10 to the power of minus 23 seconds. It's 0.0000000000000. I'm not done yet. 0.0000000000001 of a second. Orders of magnitude stronger and faster than a nuke, making a sun shine where it usually doesn't. Just to say, there is no process in the universe that could cause an 80-kilogram black hole to appear. There is nothing Thanos could do to survive that. Density of his body doesn't matter. Matter itself would turn into something that gives physicists brain aneurysm. He would have no chance to react and manipulate reality to get out of this, as he wouldn't see it coming for obvious reasons. He, all the heroes and entire Wakanda would cease to exist in an instant. That's why comic Thanos wouldn't survive either. Explosion grows in power the closer you are to it, and you can't really imagine a closer scenario. Matter would simply have no time to react and have to absorb all of it. And Thanos, even in comics, is still a physical being, unless he actively uses Infinity Gauntlet to preemptively protect himself. He does not survive that. I'm adding this while editing, so comic Thanos actually can't die. Not because he's so durable and physics-defying, but because death itself had enough of him and banned him from her realm. No amount of physics can solve death ghosting you. But once he buys her some flowers, or half of the universe, Ant-Man could help them see one another very quickly. Characters may survive stronger punches or explosions, but it's because these lose power in other ways than just turning one's insides into plasma. Way that Marvel wants to avoid that is by changing its story and claiming that PIM particles manipulate mass, getting it from other dimensions, etc., which makes it so much worse. Because nothing other than his own decision not to destroy himself and Earth stops Ant-Man from generating even bigger black hole. Marvel in general is very inconsistent about how PIM particles work. But since there are spherical planets in Marvel Universe, we have to assume that science fiction like gravity actually exists there. No shield protects you from attack from inside, unless some characters have a shield down there, which I don't think we will ever see in Marvel movies. Realistically, no character made out of matter survives that, even outside of Marvel Universe. No density or structure matters. At such a small distance, this energy would turn everything into plasma. Physics itself will fail some characters before their powers do. Regeneration is not going to save you, even the most powerful one. Matter physically won't be able to move fast enough to replace destroyed cells, not to mention DNA getting all forms of radiation possible. And good luck with energy absorption. Absorbing so much energy in time so fast that the nuclear explosion is a fart moving in slow motion in comparison. Funny enough, the best bet would be actually outrunning the explosion. So-called speedsters move at speeds approaching or sometimes exceeding the speed of light, to the point where everything around them stops. Which is nonsense, by the way, since getting to that speed requires infinite energy. Will you use infinity plus 1 energy to cross the speed of light? It does generate a problem of outrunning something that's inside you. But running through the expanding ball of plasma like this would just leave a hole at the contact place. It wouldn't move with them. So if we assume Speedster that has a reaction time and speed needed for that, before the explosion grows too big, he could theoretically survive. Funny enough, the only solution for 100,000 Hiroshima bombs in your rectum is to run away from them at near the speed of light. It makes no sense, and forces involved would most likely be even more deadly than the black hole itself. But super speed in general is one of the most idiotic superpowers. Only characters that could physically survive that are those who can survive complete disintegration to the point that matter isn't even in the same state, or those so massive that the explosion wouldn't destroy all of their mass. Not a single atom will remain attached to another after Ant-Man hole in the hole scenario. What creation of fiction could survive that in your opinion? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you next time.